Don't leave yet. Are you really going to climb aboard this death trap? Just hold a moment and think it through. Would you believe pluck and intuition? Yeah, didn't think so. I may look the part, but I'm no bloodhound. Truth is, I slipped a sporing coin into your pocket before you left Mournhold. A sporing coin. It's an enchanted drake. Looks mundane, but it bears a charm that we can track. You don't approve? Look, we can argue about that later. For now, I can't let you get on this boat alone. It's too dangerous. Let me go with you. Smart. 2 heads are better than 1. Especially when one of those heads is as hard as mine. Let's hop to it, eh? It's about time we got some answers. We should get going. Kindly. I'm sorry. I know I came to help, but I'm not very good on boats. I'll be fine, really. You go on ahead. Just give me a moment to catch my breath, and I will catch up with you.
See the appeal. Ah, you've arrived. Welcome to Dranil Kier. Let's get in out of the rain, shall we? I trust you brought the items I requested. The scrying chamber is just up the hill. Follow me. The weather here is always poor. A side effect of the Obscurus's presence, I'm told. Come, it's just through here. I'm confident that the components you brought will fit, but the Obscurus device has been dormant for centuries. Let's hope that the genius of my forebears has stood the test of time. Affix the lantern and the lens. The answers we seek are within our grasp. Do you feel that chill? It's like... oh no! What's happening to me? We must kill the shadow! Hurry!
I knew you were stubborn, but that won't save you from me. You'll die just like the rest!
No. I will not perish here.
You underestimate me, just like the rest.
No. I will not
bitch is
perish
mine.
here.
Oh, witless Bonafide. That's what they called me. Well, who's laughing now, huh?
I will not perish here.
No! Split up!
No. I will not perish here. Victory at last. Set the lens and the lantern in the obscure. Slay them! I'll mend your wounds. This cannot be. The city was sealed long ago. What is this creature? Some new Daedric beast? The Clockwork City. Could it be? After all this time? The images revealed by the Obscuros leave little room for doubt. The Daedric artifact we seek is somewhere inside the Clockwork City. Why would Sothasil allow such an item to enter his domain? I fear that something terrible has happened. Yes, of course. I sometimes forget this is not common knowledge. Sothasil, brother to Vivek and Magus of the Tribunal, created the Clockwork City long ago. He rarely speaks of it, but scholars believe this city has the power to remake Tamriel. The city functions as a simulacrum of the corporeal plane. Making a change to the Clockwork City may well change some aspect of Tamriel itself. This is all speculative, but I've studied under Sothasil. I have no doubt that this is within his power. Indeed. An unwelcome prospect, to be sure. Normally, I would assure you that Sothasil has the situation well in hand. He is a friend to the Psijics and to the people of Tamriel. But the presence of this Daedric artifact gives me pause. I must inform the Psijic Rightmaster. If Daedra have breached the gates of the Clockwork City, we must move swiftly. As for you, I would counsel vigilance. Whoever set these events in motion no doubt sees you as a threat. Take this, and my thanks. Allies. We need allies. We employ the most powerful scrying device in Tamriel, and all it yields is more questions. A perfect metaphor for the scholarly life, I suppose. There is one who might be able to help. The ancient dark elf mage, Devaith Fear. Though we rarely see eye to eye, I must admit that his grasp of Daedric lore is unparalleled. Fear casts a long, ethereal shadow. It makes him difficult to miss. I sense, yes, he is in Mournhold, the Tribunal Temple, conferring with Almalexia, perhaps. Find Devaith and tell him what is at stake. With any luck, we will find common cause. We employ the most powerful scrying device in Tamriel, and all it yields is more questions. I wish I could say yes. I fear that in destroying my shadow, we've destroyed some vital piece of my animus. I feel thin, diminished. A weakened Psijic is still a formidable mage, but something is definitely broken. Best not to think about it. So you knew our attacker? She was powerful indeed, and yet I sensed that the strength was not her own. Her form was clumsy, but she struck with the power of a master wizard. Usually I'd suspect possession, but with her, I'm not so certain. Someone granted her powers beyond her ken. An agent of oblivion, no doubt. Bonifrid was clearly filled with hatred, consumed by jealousy or resentment, perhaps. The Daedra can twist those passions into untold horrors. I pity her. Just remain watchful. Devaith is far from scrupulous. While we Psijics study magic for the benefit of all, Lord Fear only studies it to satisfy his personal ambitions. When our interests align, he can be a powerful ally. When they don't, enemy is too strong a word. He just resolves to make our lives as difficult as possible. He knows that opposing the Order directly would go very poorly for him. For now, I think he will prove very useful. I advise vigilance, nonetheless. Well, no one really knows Sothasil. Not even the other members of the Tribunal. I studied under him for a time. He was patient, surprisingly attentive. The perfect teacher in many respects. Even so, I never really felt that I knew him. Beyond the obvious? Not much. I can tell you he's nothing like Vivek. He never spoke about himself, or the dark elf faith. I always got the sense that he, well, resented isn't the right word. He just seemed ambivalent about that part of his life. Only obliquely, and mostly in metaphor. It's his primary pursuit now. Some say it's his obsession. You see, despite all his power, there is a melancholy to him. It's unfortunate, but not surprising. True wisdom always brings some measure of despair. I must admit, I'm unaccustomed to discussing such matters with people outside our order, but I think you've more than earned the privilege. Right Master Iakasis directs the Psijics. He rivals Sothasil in wisdom, if not in power. Something like, yes. The old ways give little credence to such titles. What is a god other than an exceptionally powerful agent? Anyway, power is overrated. Wisdom is the true measure of a person. In that regard, Iakasis is great indeed. Someday, perhaps. The Psijic Order's Isle of Artaeum is no longer here. It may return in time, but for now, you'd probably have an easier time reaching Aetherius or realms beyond. The Order values solitude, much like Sothasil. We employ the most powerful scrying device. Just remain enemy.
Ah, you've arrived at last. Come forward. We have much to Did you think I would not expect you? I already know all that occurred with Lilatha and the murderous shadows. Rest assured, I will find this mysterious Daedric artifact. Perhaps you'd like to assist me. A voyage that only a few have ever undertaken. We will travel to Sothasil's peculiar experiment, the Clockwork City. I have inquiries to make. You will assist me. I do. The Tribunes are not so clever that they could hide such a place from me for long. The city is quite close, and also very far away. Just the first of Sothasil's many paradoxes. If you choose to join me, be prepared for many more. I have no great fondness for that Psijic Lilatha, but you saved her life and defeated a powerful shadow mage in the process. A remarkable accomplishment for someone of your breeding. I'm confident you will continue to surprise me. Of course you will. Naturally you have questions. Alas, they will have to wait. Servants of the Tribunal do not look kindly on blasphemous journeys like this one. Meet me at the waterfall north of the city. We can discuss the details there. Prepare if you must, but make it quick. Time is not on our side.
Strangers in Black helped House Lalu at the Gorge. Do you think? No, that's impossible. They're all gone now?
There you are! Come! Here, behind the waterfall! My companion arrives at last. Now then, our journey begins in this dreary little cave. Quite a surprise, yes? Believe me, it won't be the last. We can speak freely here, but do make it brief. All this natural splendor is just tedious. The Father of Mysteries, the Clockwork God, the Tinkerer, and other such banal titles. Sothasil, or Set, is a member of the Dark Elf Tribunal. He reigns over Morrowind as the god of craft and sorcery, the wisest and most reclusive of the three. Ha! No one truly knows Sothasil, not even his hordes of wild-eyed worshippers. I studied with him before his ascent, and even then he defied comprehension. His only true peer was Indoril Nerevar. Such a shame what happened to him. Indeed, Saint Nerevar the Captain, our king and greatest champion for a time. He died, tragically, during a journey to the heart of Red Mountain. It was all very sudden. Some believe his retainer, Dagoth struck the mortal blow. Others... Some believe that Sothasil, Vivek, and Almalexia murdered Nerevar so they could take divine power for themselves. Who's to say what really happened? In any event, Sothasil emerged from the mountain even more inscrutable than before. I think it's irrelevant. The silence of Sothasil may come from a place of grief and deep regret. It might be a side effect of his fierce obsessions, perhaps both. How he became a god is no concern of mine. I respect his knowledge, nothing more. Sothasil hides everything. But more to your point, it's not just a city. It's an incomprehensibly powerful, world-shaping device. Can't leave that sort of thing lying about, can you? Also, Almalexia worries about how it reflects on her divinity. Yes, Seal's fellow tribune. A machine can be studied and perhaps understood in time. She fears that by reducing their divinity to a machine, Sothasil lessens the mystique of their godhood. To his great credit, Seal largely ignores these concerns. A Daedric artifact. I take a keen interest in all such objects, but this one seems especially significant. You see, nearly everyone who searches for it winds up dead. I suspect that other people are not to Vaith fear. I've not lived this long by shying away from dangerous relics. Anyway, if this artifact inspired someone to slaughter scores of mages, it's clearly something worth investigating.